Hey, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Conversation Podcast here at McCurdy's Comedy Theater. This week, we were on the week of Thanksgiving, and we hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We all did, so we hope you did. So we actually, instead of doing our normal scheduled podcast on Thursday, everybody had off. So we came in on Saturday, and we did a podcast with Patrick Garrity, our headliner. And it was a fun one. I had so much fun doing this podcast. Got to talk to a real veteran of the game. Guy's been doing it for 18 years, and he's been on the road for most of those years. He's part of the never-ending tour, which he deemed himself because it never ends. And he's just always on the road. He's a true road dog comic, and I love talking to this guy. We also had my two guests this week, Austin Young and Salvador. You guys have heard him before. If you know anything about the amateur scene in Sarasota, these two guys have been in it and been killing it for a while now. So I had them come in just to talk with us, and we all had a great conversation. We also had Brian Aldridge from Tampa, a side splitters guy, if you will. Very funny. Really cool talking to him and hanging out with him this week. And we also had Ken Sons, our host, Les McCurdy's partner in crime. He was in town, Les was out of town, so we all got to hang out together. And there was a lot of people on this podcast. We talked about everything from football, Miami, O.J. Simpson, Charles Manson, the Grizzly Man, the Cocaine Bear, Scarface, protests in China, and even Taco Bell. Yeah, we covered a lot of subjects, and that's only the first part of the podcast. So there's a lot of things going on here, and I think you guys will enjoy this one. I had a blast talking with everybody, and yeah, please give it up for Patrick Garrity, Brian Aldridge, Salvador, Austin Young, and Ken Sons.
Welcome to the conversation.
All right, we're here at McCurdy's Comedy Theater, the Conversation Podcast. I got Austin Young and Salvador. These are our guests this week. Got Brian Aldridge.
Hello.
From Tampa, right?
Yeah, Tampa.
Tampa. That's Brian. We got Patrick Garrity. Here's our headliner.
What's up, man?
What's up? And Ken Sons, our host.
What a thrill
it
is to be in this podcast as we're all on pins and needles ready to start our show.
Absolutely.
But this is where the energy happens, right?
Yeah,
in the podcast section.
Exactly. This is where we're doing it right here. And we're in the green room, and on Saturday, actually. We usually do this on Thursdays, but, we had Thanksgiving, so fucking holidays, you know what I mean? Like, always ruining our shit.
I think it's a different vibe on Saturday. You guys feeling it?
Yeah.
I mean, feels
Feels
great day for a podcast.
Yes,
Yes, it is.
It's podcast day. Yeah. Absolutely. And we are watching a football game because it's Saturday.
Auburn just got a pick six.
Why wouldn't they go for two?
Holy shit.
Bro,
They haven't done the extra point yet, have they?
They're lined up for it.
What are they doing? A kick?
I have no idea what you guys
I
are
hope.
talking about.
I just want to see Alabama.
It's in your
lose.
sport. You're going.
No, this is not my sport.
He's over there streaming tennis on his iPhone. Oh man,
Hey,
she
you guys know
dropped
the
it.
Wimbledon's going on?
Yeah,
Watching
right.
My Hero
That's all
Academia.
right. Everybody has their interest.
Oh, that's
I
great.
just want to see how shitty Nick Saban's going to be to the media.
Oh no, he's losing
Yeah,
it right now. He's
be
gonna
like-
murder one of
Yeah,
his.
he's going to
Whoever
be like,
was responsible for that pick six, he's gonna murder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nick Saban's eyes are going to be rolling into the back of his head the entire night.
That guy's
Like,
throat is already
fucking-
slit right now.
Should have stayed in Miami. Should have stayed in
Yeah.
Miami. Didn't he? That's the thing with him, right? He left like in the middle of the night. The Dolphins, right?
I think so. I don't remember.
When he went up to the big leagues and like,
I was about 13.
because I know that's why every Miami fan hates him.
Yeah, because he left and he went to.
Like he didn't even
Alabama.
say anything. He just quit, like packed
Yeah.
up his shit and left. No like speech.
What Miami fans have you ever been to a game down
Yeah,
there?
it's,
Nothing but orange seats.
it's brutal. Yeah, it is.
All right, and then they leave. They come late and they leave early.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're real dedicated.
They're real committed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miami's crazy though. Anyway, I feel like this is full of narcissists. Like every single one. You know.
Yeah, they got better things to do than watch a shit.
Coked up
football
narcissists.
They cooked up narcissism, which feeds narcissism pretty well.
Yeah. Woo! I'm the best.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I heard comedy's real tough in that city, just in general.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
I remember we used to have to do 3 shows down there.
Yeah.
At the Improv, so it would start at like, the first show would be like at 7, and then the next one would be at like 9:30, and then the next one was supposed to be the midnight show. That shit didn't start till fucking almost 1 a.m. just because it's like how late people would get there. Dude, this is a funny story. So Gary Valentine, the guy, what's his name's brother? Kevin James's brother.
Oh wow, yeah,
their brother. So he was doing a show down there, and so the way the stage was, like the green room, you would just open the door and you'd be directly on the stage. Like that's like soon as you open the door, you're like that's it. You just come out, which is pretty cool, right? Yeah, this is the Miami Improv. Yeah. So Gary Valentine's night, it's like the midnight show. It's now like almost 2:00, and then these dudes are all coked up out of their minds, like in the back, and he's like, "Yo, shut the fuck up!" And then they just kept going back and forth, and then finally the security guy comes over. They hit the security guy with a chair, and then they charge the stage to get to Gary, and he runs like through the green room. They chase him through the green room, and then back into the kitchen, and he has to grab a knife. He's like, "Come on, motherfucker!" Like they have a standoff, like with these coked up maniacs.
Oh my god!
And like in Miami. And then another time, this is my best Miami story. So my buddy, Forrest Shaw was hosting a show for Tommy Davidson. Okay, so he just goes into the green room, and O.J. Simpson is passed out, like on like in the chair. He's just like asleep, and then Forrest is like, Jesus, and then this white chick is like sitting on the couch. She's like, crazy, right?
Oh,
that's like he's like he's just like,
great.
so he just like quietly shuts the door. So this is like early 2000s. Okay,
so this is after the murder.
Okay. Much after the murder, right? So Tommy Davidson, like in his bit, like does this Spanish channel bit. He's just like, then he goes, O.J. Simpson, right? So he goes, O.J. Simpson, and then O.J. Simpson opens the green room door and comes like behind him with a knife.
Oh,
what? And then he like, then Tommy Davidson goes, and like jumps off stage.
Yeah.
Dude, the people in the audience are like fucking mortified. They're like, said O.J. Simpson, and like just to see the looks on their faces, it was just like, just this weirdness and awkwardness, and then that's like how the show ended. The host had to be like, "Hey, Tommy Davidson, O.J. Simpson, give it up,
give it up for
murder, double murder."
Right. Careful,
give it up for the juice.
The juice is loose.
Yeah, the juice is loose.
Juice is loose. Holy shit!
Yeah, those are my Miami stories.
That's funny.
Pretty funny.
He's partying with O.J. Simpson.
Right, he's in the green room, passed out.
The funniest part is the girl just like, God, so crazy.
Yeah, OJ, right? Crazy.
That's how
You can't
crazy
believe it
women
either.
are. Is that they'll be with known murderers.
Yeah.
Like what's his name? Charles Manson was married, and then who was it? There's another serial killer.
Did Manson kill anybody though?
Not himself.
Right.
I mean, he had that.
I'm just saying on a technicality, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I watched that show
Leave Manson
Mindhunters
alone,
on
guys.
Netflix. You ever seen that?
I have, yeah.
The guy that
Fantastic.
they got to play Manson and Mindhunters
pretty damn good.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Like,
He gave me chills. Like,
dude,
every
and he's
time.
like,
Oh
half
my
of it
God.
makes sense. You're like, oh yeah, I kind of see that. He's like, yeah, man, it was fucking, he's just
so
like,
charismatic.
yeah. I'm
and
like,
just like you could believe that he was just like this psychotic leader
Right.
that could just influence.
He
anybody.
was crazy.
Yeah, he was. Did you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
yeah, I did see
I
that.
liked the Manson and Mindhunter much better than.
That's the same guy.
Nuh-uh.
Yep. Same. They use the same dude.
No way.
Yep.
Okay, well.
He likes the other
I
one
still
better.
stand.
Yeah, his performance in Mindhunter.
Still, man.
I still stand with Mindhunter.
Yeah. Netflix
Yeah.
got better.
They're like, if we need a Chucky Manson, this is our guy.
Yeah.
Whoever that actor
right.
is.
They go, what roles have you played in the past? Well, let's see.
Yeah, I
On
don't know
Netflix.
is that a compliment? Like, man, you played Manson so well.
You
Like,
got into his character.
Yeah, like, wow. You just
You
nailed
could
that.
get typed.
You're
I
very
totally wanted to
believable.
cut a baby out of somebody.
He just gets pigeonholed as Manson for the rest of his career.
As a serial killer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just in a woods, just chopping wood, and he's like, "We need you for the role." He's like,
And
"I'm
then
done, damn
he
it."
wanted to be one of the Beach Boys or some shit. Then he was just
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was like
Oh,
mad,
yeah.
disgruntled because he wasn't a Beach Boy, and they just I'm gonna fucking do my own shit.
All right, I got an idea.
Make my own band. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Band of murders.
That's funny.
What's his name? The guy, was it the Grizzly Man? You were seen that
Grizzly
dude?
Adams or
No, Grizzly Man. The guy that
Grizzly
would
Man.
go, the guy that would go
And, like, try to
hang
pet
out.
Grizzly
Yeah, and called him
Yeah.
Mr. Chocolate and shit. Then he ended
Yes.
up getting eaten by
Yeah.
a grizzly bear.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Yeah.
His whole thing was he was upset because he wasn't Woody on Cheers. He was like the number 2, and then they
For
gave
real.
it to Woody
Oh my
And
god.
to play Woody.
And then he goes into the woods.
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah. Then he goes into
The
the
wild
wood.
thing about that documentary, though, is that he actually had the footage of him being mauled.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they played the audio of it,
Yeah.
but they
Right, well,
had
that's
the damn footage of him.
I don't
being
think they
mauled
had.
by the-
I think what it was is he couldn't get the lens off thing. So all they had was the audio.
Oh, was that
So
it?
yeah, I think
So
that's
it's
what
the
happened.
actual
Yeah,
footage
so it's
with
just
the
like
lens on.
he was trying to get you couldn't get the thing off. You know.
My friends are here.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Mr. Chocolate.
Yeah.
This bear's like,
Oh,
call me
that
Mr.
doesn't
Chocolate
matter.
one more
Well, they
fucking
can use
time.
it as a podcast.
Call me Mr. Chocolate one fucking time.
This is my girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. She's tasty.
Yeah.
That's funny because if he's a real director, he's like, man, we're missing a great shot right now. Like,
Yeah, you could hear it. You could hear like the girl like hitting the bear with the frying pan. It was like ping, ping.
Oh, yeah.
It was- yeah.
Frying pan can do
Dude,
shit.
that looks like that scene from The Revenant with
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio
Wait,
was
so-
one of the most. Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude, that is like
So the bear attacked when they found out that like he had a girlfriend. Was like the bear jealous?
no.
Maybe.
So he would always go there like before hibernation. So they were all like, well,
Okay.
they were eating and being fine and whatever. Then he had a problem with his job or some shit, and then he went
Yeah.
back when they were all supposed to be sleeping, except for this one who's like pretty fucking hungry here, and this guy's like, hey,
Mr. Bear?
yeah, hey,
Oh,
Mr. Bear.
okay.
And this
I
guy-
thought like
so
the
it's
bear
this
had
one
gotten
big-
jealous.
No,
or
the
something.
bear was like, hungry and like starving and trying to find food, and this
Oh,
guy's
okay.
walking around.
Yeah.
This guy's like, I'm gonna eat this fucking idiot here.
Yeah.
I love how you think a bear would be like, you never spent any more time with me.
That's
right. I don't know.
Who's this
Dude,
bitch?
how much weed did you smoke before this? Where you thought
Dude,
bears
and
would be jealous?
There was did you hear about this bear that found like however many pounds of cocaine?
Oh,
in
yeah,
the woods?
Cocaine bear.
Yeah, cocaine bear, and for like
You-
then his heart
How have you not
exploded.
heard of-
Yeah.
Yeah, how
But-
have you not heard of
but-
cocaine
He
bear?
just
Up
was
until-
munching on coke.
Up until his
Oh,
heart
it's the
exploded.
gay dude who did a lot of cocaine. I had no idea. It's
Yeah,
a fucking actual
because-
bear.
They were saying, like, they were like, until that bear's heart exploded, it was the most powerful apex predator, like,
Yeah.
in that vicinity.
There's just
like,
trails
hey,
of blood
yeah.
and carcasses.
How did it get the cocaine? Is it
So someone, I think it like fell out of a plane or
Plane,
something.
right.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
just
one
like,
of
so it was
those,
just in the woods, and this bear found it.
he got addicted to cocaine?
Yeah,
within,
yeah,
like,
immediately.
30 seconds.
yeah, this is like,
One lick is all it took.
yeah.
How long was his rampage?
Yeah, they said he was probably running around until his heart exploded for at least like an hour and a half, I think, or something.
Oh, so
Like,
literally, it was a short-lived addiction.
yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't long
He
until
just
he
went
was.
berserker mode.
Yeah. Good. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus, could you imagine?
I think
stumbling
that's a
across-
lesson for all of us.
Basically, it was just the end of Logan.
Yeah.
Just for the
yeah.
bear.
This
If you're gonna do
rampaging
cocaine,
monster.
don't go running for an hour and a half later.
It's a great pitch for that cocaine, though. You know? shit killed a bear, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the thing where, like, if it killed a celebrity, there's like, this is the shit that killed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is the shit that killed that bear.
Yeah.
That's that good shit.
Well, I just thought Scarface was like a 3-hour advertisement for cocaine.
know,
It was
right?
like,
Yeah.
especially that shootout at the end.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, you're
Takes
just
50
getting.
bullets.
But yeah, it had to be guys like reloading, going. I don't know what's gonna happen. It took a dude with a sawed off to flank him and shoot him in the back to end that
I know.
shootout.
And that guy took forever.
Yeah.
Like just walking up. He's got sunglasses on
Yeah.
at night. Like that's not good for a shootout. You know what I mean?
Maybe
Like,
he's a Corey Hart fan.
I don't-
Yeah, take your time, Carlos.
Yeah, this dude only has a grenade launcher.
We'll make it. Yeah. It's not a big deal.
There's a couple guys. I'm running low. There's one guy.
It's just one guy.
Yo, this statue is not providing enough cover anymore.
Man, that was great.
Like, man, this cocaine smells pretty good.
How we looking?
Alabama took the lead again immediately after.
Well, no, they missed an extra point, so they were down by 1 when they scored. No, or
They didn't go. They kicked it. It was 31-30, and they kicked it.
wait. Hold on. I'll just take your word on it. I'm not gonna try to do the gymnastics of it in my head. All right.
The gymnastics of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought we were watching
A
football.
game we were halfway paying attention to, and they're like, "Oh, this guy scored."
Yeah. If you ask me to think about something, we might be here a while. So.
I'd really like to see a cocaine bear just run out of the field.
That would tie this whole thing together.
And
then,
oh my God!
Did you hear about the Harvard and Yale the football game? A bunch of students protested climate change, so they just like sat at the 50-yard line just to protest it. The football game.
That's how I want to protest all my
Yeah.
fucking things too. Is just
sit
have
at a
great seats at a football game.
Yeah.
right.
So I'm
we are so
protesting.
angry.
Yeah.
So were they like on the field?
They
Yeah.
went onto the field and just
Oh.
sat right there in the middle while they were
So
doing their
did-
warm-ups. So I mean, it wasn't.
And then they just left after the.
They just asked them to leave. It was like, hey, do we have like a game going on? And it's like, okay, we were dicks. And I guess.
Right, yeah,
I
that's
guess.
the way to
Only at
make
Yale
people
and
hate you.
Harvard game.
Yeah, why
Like, there's
why
one-
a football game?
Right.
Like if
There-
you're gonna protest climate change, why
There
not
was
have
one, there's
Well-
one video with this dude.
Viewership.
It was like,
Harvard and Yale?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually a
Harvard.
big game.
No, it's not.
It's
Yeah.
all right. I mean,
No, it's
for
not.
people to
and
go to
it's
Harvard
also
and
it's
Yale.
fucking
This
Yale.
would be the biggest game, but they would be shot on sight.
Oh, yeah,
if
yeah.
they even-
Yeah.
What the hell you think you're doing?
Alabama.
Yeah.
This is the Iron Bowl. This is the biggest.
But it's
football
fucking
game of the year.
Harvard and Yale. Like, if there's anybody that's gonna have a protest for climate change, it's gonna be one of those fucking schools. I'm gonna
Or
say.
both.
Yeah. Parents,
Or both. Or
parents of the players from this game would be dragging them off by their
I
man
know.
buns.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Oh no!
Beating their faces. in.
Everybody here is strapped for sure. They all have rifles just in their trucks, just in case they need to make a long shot.
Yeah.
in case ISIS.
Yeah, there's a guy that's
just in
actually been
case.
there's a guy that's actually been fantasizing
Yeah.
about this since Monday.
I
He's just
know.
like,
Oh, yeah,
you
once
know,
he
it'd be
heard that,
great
yeah.
if some protesters came out on the 50-yard line and I was
During
strapped.
my precious Alabama Auburn game, they so much as ruined that game. Oh man, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, nobody's protesting this game.
You just got Yosemite Sam just blast.
No, there was that one video where they were like protesting and standing in the street, and they were all like linked arms, and like people were just honking their horns.
Yeah.
And this dude who looked like he worked at a hospital comes out of
Oh,
nowhere.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
like,
that
"Get the fuck
video."
out of here." He's
He's
like,
like,
people gotta go to work.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
so do
that
I.
so
I was
much.
just like, you
Yeah, I
self-righteous
know.
piece
Go
of
to
shit.
like, I don't know, go to Wall Street or something. Go to like
Right.
They
the
tried that.
elites.
Yeah.
They tried that.
Yeah, but they all got too stoned and like they forgot why they were there.
I know.
Yeah,
like,
literally,
this is a
you-
great party. Like, it's protesting, motherfucker. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
This should be a music.
Do not let
festival.
us use any bathrooms.
Yeah, that's the one problem. They just had to shit in the streets and everything. It's part of the protest.
Dude, this. You want to talk about protests? What's going on over there in Hong Kong? Dude,
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit. That's protesting. That's
Yeah.
some fine protesting
That's
right
a
there.
real protest.
Yeah, yeah. They're doing shit where they're like, so
Firing arrows. And
they're firing arrows, and this is like the coolest way I've ever seen them take care of tear gas. So they get shot at with tear gas, and they take a parking cone, put it over the thing that's releasing the tear gas, and then dump water on top of the parking, and so it just dismantles the entire. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
done with that. You know,
Why haven't they learned
And then
that
it also,
early?
like,
I've
look-
never
Right,
seen
I've
that's
never
brilliant, right?
right? You know,
I've
what I
never
mean?
seen
like,
that.
You get a problem, just give it to Asians. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
figure
dude.
out how to eliminate
They're like,
it.
oh, how about we just
Efficiency.
Yeah, yeah. They need to take a
exactly.
parking cone, tear gas, boom. Like
Yeah.
they, like it was a drill.
what now?
Yeah.
No, I actually heard they actually were like
come
catching
closer.
them. They were like volleying them back. Is that how you say volley them
Yeah.
back? Yeah. Like with tennis rackets and lacrosse.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like a
They're
guy came out with like a badminton thing. It was just like bing.
I
and
can't
like,
wait for the part where it gets to like katanas and like it goes
Oh.
straight up.
Jesus.
Hidden dragon or crouching, whatever the hell
Yeah,
that
they're gonna
movie
be having
is.
Hunger Games over there by the time
Yeah.
the Super Bowl rolls around.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. It'll be great.
not
Be on
good.
Facebook Live or whatever.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude.
So none of their tactics are working against this. Against this.
Right, they're like, I think
protesters.
they were able to dismantle a tank with like a flaming arrows and shit. Like it's like,
That's some Red Dawn kind of
right.
shit.
And it's like sometimes you
like-
just gotta tip your hat and go, you know what, fellas, well done.
like-
You
Yeah, I
know?
That's
Like,
a metal album right there. That's
Right,
an album cover for a metal band.
They're so
And then
crafty. They
they're
can't
all,
even.
and here they're holding hands in traffic.
I
And
know.
they're like, look what
Yeah.
we're doing.
Look what we're
No,
doing.
no, look what they're doing.
Fuck your football game.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, we could all take a page from their book for sure.
This commercial's very confusing without like the music.
Right.
Most commercials are.
Well, it's Taco Bell. Just
Okay.
yeah, just know that it's delicious, but your asshole will explode right after eating it.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna eat that right after
I always
this.
feel bad for like the 3 o'clock shift at Taco Bell. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah, 'cause they're just-
Right after
the bar
school.
close.
Yeah.
No,
that 3 o'clock.
the bar close shift where they're so good at getting that food out quickly, but like, fuck, I would
They
hate
have
to
to
do
deal
that.
with the biggest dickheads.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
just gotta be
know how
miserable.
many girls I've seen fall over in high heels inside of a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like at that hour.
People just lined up walking in the drive-through and shit. Like, you guys got tacos in there?
You gotta be in a car, sir, but I can't drive. I'm fucked up.
Yeah. It's crazy. So how the show's been going so far?
So far, so good. I feel.
Yeah, good shows.
I know. I saw you on Wednesday when you had to close the class show.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
That was really fun. You did a good job there. That
They
one.
all, they all did good, right, Mike? Once again.
Yeah, I think
they,
so.
They all, some do better than others, but they all go out and I always say if it was a pottery class, they all made an ashtray.
Right.
You know? They got their money's worth. $250. Come on, man. Enjoy yourself.
Some of them got burned up in the kiln, but like.
Right. But I'm saying, like, it is a scary thing, especially if you've never done it before. But that big ass crowd.
Yeah, I know.
Like, on a wet,
Exactly.
you're doing your first 5 minutes. It's nerve wracking, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like this. You've been thinking about it probably ever since you started the class. Like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
That's right.
Just the pressure. It's a
Yeah,
pressure cooker for sure. Especially it's a short amount of time. You only get, you get 15 hours, but it's still in the time
In
span.
a short period. We used to do 6-week classes, but for adults, it's hard for adults to make 6 Sundays in a row or
Right.
6 Saturdays in a row. So we do it really in 3 classes: a Saturday, and then the next Saturday, Sunday, and you go up.
No, it's good.
So,
This is for pottery or for comedy?
for comedy.
Okay, sorry. I probably should
well,
be
we
watching
teach
football.
pottery.
and
too.
and guaranteed everybody that takes that class has a new respect for comedy. When
Yeah.
they go, oh,
Yeah,
this
they
isn't
do.
just talking.
Oh, I hate that,
Like,
yeah.
They understand what it's
I
about.
hate-
Now, what they do with it past that, some people like Mike, he's doing it. He got bit by the bug, so he's doing it.
Yeah.
A bunch of people just do it for the bungee jump. They
Right.
do it, and then they go, "Wow, I finally did that. That was cool."
Yeah.
But every once in a while, somebody goes, "No, I want to do this," and they start signing up for open mic nights, and then they're going to do what they're going to do.
Right. I saw a great meme. It goes, driving, parenting, and stand-up comedy are the 3 hardest things to convince somebody they're not good at.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, so nailed it.
That's very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm like, bro,
True.
that's so
So that's perfect.
Yeah.
On the nose. Wow.
right. Yeah. It was just like, damn.
Yeah, my favorite thing is like
Good
where
at
you
this.
hear somebody like just finish a set and like they didn't get like a single laugh, and they get off the stage like I fucking destroyed. It's like,
Right. So yeah,
"Nah,
you're in a
man."
you're in a world of delusion that I can't hang out with you.
Yeah.
No,
see,
yeah.
there's a guy.
But I like encourage. I'm like, you killed out there.
Yeah, just making me even more. Here, try some cocaine. Yeah, there's just so
She
like,
killed a bear.
yeah.
I was about to do the callback.
Right. So yeah. But not like I got a buddy of mine I work with a lot, and his name's Luke Swanson. I first met him years and years ago. He was like the manager of the club, but he would just get up and host and screw around and shit. And I was like, and then he had a falling out with the club. I go, hey man, you should come with me on the road. You're really funny. And he was like, nah. He was just had such a high respect for comedy. He was just like, nah, I'm not that good, man. And finally I got him on the road with me, and then he started like killing, right?
Nice.
Like with no sense of the word, but like doing great. And then I'd be like, man, you did great, you killed it. He'd be like, I could have done this one bit better though. And he was like, always really self-critical of himself.
Yes.
I'm like, hate yourself. That's it.
That's
That's the
how
guy
you
I want to
get
hang
better.
out with.
Yeah.
Like there's just there's certain people that don't have enough self-loathing of themselves for me to
Right.
like actually
Yeah.
want to be their friend. And it's like the ones.
It's like, did you just high five me, motherfucker?
Right. Yeah. I want the guy that kills to be like, there's a couple parts I could have did, like, be home with rather than the person that's like, killed it. I'm like, I heard ice melting while you were on stage. You piece of shit. Like, what are you fucking doing up there?
Piece of shit.
Yeah. It's like what, like I can't, because I try, like I think that's one of the reasons why I'm good at this is like I'm very self-aware of like,
Right.
okay, where did this bit go? Like I could do better here. Like I'm very much in touch with reality. Where like I know when I do good and I know when I don't do well.
Well, I've always heard that statement, like one of the worst things you can tell a stand-up is that they're good.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't gotta work. I'm good. Like,
Oh no, that's fine.
gotta
Dude,
work.
give it a week.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
they'll oh, maybe I don't know this shit so well. And like,
yeah, exactly.
oh, maybe I'm not.
I learned real quick. It's
Oh.
like inflated egos aren't good because like I was talking some shit, not like about anybody. I was just like talking myself up real like it's like a guy got off and he's like, man, it's tough tonight. I was like, I think I'll do all right tonight. And he's like, I don't know, man. It's like, nah, it's pretty solid material. I get up there.
Oh my
and,
God.
This is what you
I
were
ate
saying?
a bag of dicks.
That is fucking awesome.
The
dude.
comedy gods are like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, and then
Like,
I realized I should appease the gods by being humble and just self-loathing.
yeah.
Ken's son's about to get the show started.
Yeah, he is.
Alright.
bro.
Hey, y'all keep talking while I'm up there, man. It doesn't matter. Let's go do my skit.
That's what my grandma
Get him,
called
Ken.
it. How's your skits going there, Austin?
dude.
It's like,
When they call it one of your little skits, you could do
That's
one of
what
your
she's-
little skits. You're like,
Yeah, you just want to throw the fucking
I
whole
hate
Thanksgiving turkey at
Yeah.
the
I know,
face.
it's like,
when they go, hey, how's that comedy thing?
Yeah.
Oh, my career?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
You're
Thanks.
still doing it, right? Yeah. Yes.
I can't wait to put her in assisted living. Like, and
Dude, going back to like what you're talking about, people like, oh, I should be like it was that Scooby Doo meme where it's like with the hood on, it's like I should be headlining, and then the hood comes off and it goes bombs 5-minute guess that like who they really are, you know,
Yeah.
like oh this is. Dude, I was
Yeah.
like that was so fucking funny.
It's true, man. Yeah. And I found, like, you know, with my generation of comedians, you know, I'm 2 years in, it's like they all want to be headliner already. Like,
Yeah.
within a year and a half, like, I could do this. Like, 45 minutes, it's not a problem. You're like,
How do I start headlining? Your first goal should be not to be a waste of anybody's evening.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like they're not
Yeah.
coming out to see you.
Yeah.
Even I've been doing this 18 years. They're not here to
Yeah.
see me. They're here to see a show that I
Right.
happen to be a part of.
Right, exactly.
So I need to do my best I can
Right.
so that they enjoy themselves and they come back.
That's
like,
the pressure of the headliner, though, is that it rides on you. That ticket value is all up to you.
Right.
It's
No, I'm doing
terrifying.
deal with the check drop and all that shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like one of the, from what I've understood, we're like one of the few clubs that do the check drop in the middle of sets and stuff. I know some clubs don't do that until the very end, right?
Every single club I've ever worked at.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Do it
Some
during
comic-
the middle set?
No, you do it.
No, like
3/4
in the
into
middle
the
of your
headliner
set.
set.
Yeah. 3/4 of my set. Yeah.
One comic was telling me, he's like, that's fucking ridiculous.
No, every
They
single
never-
club does it.
Wow. Yeah, what an asshole then. I don't know. The guy that's full of shit.
what
Alright.
during the headliners?
Yeah. You do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
club,
You watch,
you
you
can
see
feel,
you see
you can
the checks
feel,
drop.
you can see the
Yeah.
wages, and then you can just feel them not paying attention. That's and that's usually when I do my commercial where I'm like, hey, like me,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
Buy
which
my
I
shit.
fucking
Yeah.
Tip the
hate doing.
staff. It's one of their birthdays. They
Yeah,
have
yeah.
kids. All that.
Yeah.
Don't burn your material.
Yeah,
on
it just
people that
sucks.
aren't
Like
paying
in that
attention.
too, like having to build a following is one of the worst. Like
Oh, yeah.
having to stop the show completely, like Russell Crowe and Gladiator. Be like, "Are you not entertained? Give me a like."
Or getting into a new club, not like, hey, do you have references or a
Yeah.
video? Oh yeah, hey, I'd like to play your club. Oh cool. How many Twitter followers?
Yeah, and that's my weakest
yeah.
one. I'm like the lowest in Twitter.
Is that really
Yep.
important?
Yeah, they want followers.
Even in Los Angeles too. Like
Yeah.
if you get a meeting with the producer or management, they're like, okay, what's your following like? What's your social media looking like? You know, that's why you see fucking people with
I'd
a
be like,
social media following but can't fucking do stand up
Yeah.
or headlining
Oh,
places.
yeah.
You know,
I
that's
heard
happening.
a story in Detroit where this YouTuber was at a open mic writing down people's jokes
What a cunt.
because he had a headline gig and he had no fucking material. So
Oh, he should have been lynched.
They beat the shit out of him. They
Good.
chased him out of the club. But
There was a guy in Boston. He passed away. And his name was Kevin Knox. And then this kid came through who was like notorious, like stealing shit.
yeah,
And then he left. Like he was passing through town, but he was like using the material on the run. And it got back to me. He came back, and he didn't know that all the Boston comics knew.
Oh,
and Kevin
shit.
Knox was like the guy out there.
Yeah.
Like, he was a great dude.
Yeah.
So he goes. They say, hey, man, come on, maybe you could do a guest set. So they trick him to come out to the show,
Yeah.
and Kevin Knox catches him in the hallway. He's like, "You using the hard material, you piece of shit." He's like, "Did you think you're gonna be like the fucking best of?"
Yeah.
You know, and he's just like, and he's like giving this kid the business, and then they call, okay, coming to the stage, Kevin Knox, and he fucking slaps him in the face. He goes, "You wait here, you piece of shit." Goes and fucking, everybody
Yeah.
fucking does his set, and then comes back and fucking finishes.
continue.
This is a Scorsese movie.
I know,
right
right?
here.
That's how it should be, though. You know,
God.
you like
Good for him though. Fuck
Yeah.
that motherfucker.
this is an art form, and it's
Yeah.
one of the least respected. You
You're
know,
stealing
people.
art.
Yeah, people don't like, you know, like Seinfeld, I love when he was talking about, how much praise we give actors. Hey, wear this, stand here, say this.
Yeah,
oh my God, he's a genius. He stood where we told him to stand. He said what we told him to say. He wore what we told him to wear. And then it's just like, what a great, like, meanwhile, we're like up here, like having to keep everybody captivated by ourselves for that allotted amount of time with just a fucking microphone, you know? Yeah. Like there's like bands, you can, if it's a shitty crowd, you can close your eyes and just play. Fucking, you know, comedy, you do a bit and it just eat shit and you're just like, Jesus Christ. It is just like, you could just feel
25 more minutes. All right.
Yeah. Oh. And you're like, man, that one didn't get, I don't know, even like in your head, you're like Rolodex. And, I don't even, you guys just don't like me.
And, I think that's why I love stand-up so much, because it's just you and it's all on you. Like it could go good and it could go horrible. And then either way, it's just you. Like you can't blame anybody. It's like, oh, my writers were terrible. It's like, no, it was just you, dude. Yeah, you're the writer. You were terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. It's one of the best parts about it.
Yeah, and then you get all of the glory too when you do good, and that feels amazing.
I don't know, every time I see a band like unpacking their equipment and shit, like before I'm like, oof, and they're like arguing in the park. I'm like, where the fuck is Jimmy? God damn it! And I'm like, oh god, I don't envy that at all. Like,
no,
that idea, like, and they're getting paid $50 between 5 of them.
Like, right. Yeah, you gotta split that. Like you gotta split that paycheck.
Yeah.
No, but at the same time, with music, you only need one song.
Yeah.
Like comedy, you need like a whole fucking album.
Yeah.
You know.
And then people forget about it in like 4 years. And then you gotta do another one.
It's much sooner than that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're at top of the level,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's dudes out there with like Comedy Central specials from like Comedy Central Presents, and they're not selling that shit.
They're not.
I mean, that's just the fucking.
Nobody gives a fuck. It's weird.
Right. Now, so I tell people, it's like, because people is like, I've had friends get on Conan and shit like that. I'm like, oh, how's it going? Like, still fucking.
Still struggling.
I go, because it's, the Tonight Show isn't back like it was in 1987 when there were 6 fucking channels.
Yeah, everybody can see it.
Right. Yeah. Now a late show credit might as well be a grain of sand on a fucking beach.
It's like Rogan now. Like Rogan is the new Tonight Show. I feel like if you get on Rogan, you can get
anywhere.
Yeah. Because it's like, dude. Basically. I mean, even I did Anthony Cumia's show.
Oh wow.
And even before like the end I had 100 new Twitter followers.
Yeah.
Like I had 50 before I even got onto the show.
Wow.
And they were like, I've had people from that show come see me at my shows.
Right.
And they're I'm like, dude, not just getting followers, but like loyal followers, like people that dude, we think you're great. And it's just,
they actually pay attention to what you're posting and shit.
Right, exactly.
That's the hardest part. It's hard to like convince somebody that's walking by. They're like, hey, follow me on.
You feel like one of those cell phone kiosk guys at a mall. It's like, hey, how's your cell phone play? You're like,
exactly how
you're handing out a flyer. Hey, come in. How funny could you be? Yeah. You're handing me a flyer.
Yeah,
you piece of shit.
Exactly.
They just look at you like.
They always like,
yeah, okay, yeah. One of my favorite Mitch Hedberg jokes: when somebody hands you a flyer, here, you throw this away. That is such a fucking funny
He's
bit.
one of my favorite writers.
Dude, yeah, just how accurate he was about shit, man.
You hear his bit about the cold and hot water. He's like,
I remember that one.
It's H for hot, and then it's I'm gonna butcher it, but it's like when you go to like a bar or restaurant and then you try to use them and they both say H or whatever, and he's like, okay, well this one must be for H, and then you touch this one and it's cold and it's like there's still an H. God, I'm butchering this, and you guys are listening. Yeah. Thank you for this. Let's just bail out of this.
Yeah. I remember a good Mitch Hedberg joke. Because one of my favorite ones, he goes, I don't like waving to people because some people don't have hands. Now I feel like I'm just being cocky. Like, hey, motherfucker, look what I got. These things are useful. I'm going to go pick something up.
You should never compliment somebody on their dimples because they might have been shot by a BB gun.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. Dude, it's like random shit. I like Kit Kats unless I'm with 4 or more people.
Yeah, I saw one of the weirdest sets I've ever seen. You can still find it. It's Mitch. Mitch was always like really good at being like, this is uncomfortable. Like when like the place is bad. Like there's one where he's outside and he's doing like outside thing and he just makes fun of being outside. He's like, oh, outside comedy, great. Who thought of this fucking idea? You know what I mean? He's shitting on it. and then one they it was I can't think of her name. Jean Garofalo. She was one of her shows, like way back. And they didn't have microphones. They just had lapel mics. Yeah. And you could see him walk out, and he's like,
I don't know.
Doesn't know what to do. And he's like waving his hair. He wasn't wearing sunglasses either. I was like, what is this? And it was not great. Like, it wasn't a great. You could tell.
Because he was probably like totally like, I don't. His hands probably like, what do I do? Like,
he's probably so conflicted too, because he like wants to shit on the show, but he doesn't want to be a dickhead either. Like,
right.
It's Jean Garofalo. You know, like, it was so funny.
Actually, this is like right when I first started, probably about. I was doing a couple years. It was like 6 months before he passed away, and he was at the Orlando Improv. So I went down there just to see if I could get a guest set.
Oh yeah, well.
And then his girlfriend, she didn't feel like going up. She was a feature.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he goes, "Hey man, you think you could do a half hour?" I was like, "Yeah." I was already like, dude, I'll do it. To this day, one of the best sets I've. I was like 2 years in. The materials, like, yeah, dude. The crowd laughed so much. Like, I was like, this is amazing. And then he was so nice. He was just one of the nicest dudes. And that was on a Thursday. So then I go back to him Sunday. I'm like, dude, I just want to say thanks again for that opportunity. It's like, I will never forget that. And he goes, man, you were really funny. And he hands me $100 out of his own pocket. And it was just like one of the like sweetest human beings. Just,
so that's one of those stories that keeps you in it.
Oh yeah. You're just like, man, I would love to if I ever made it to this, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
It's just like,
absolutely.
Of course you can do a guest set. Of course, like, I mean, I honestly, I feel like it takes more effort to be a dick in this business. It's just like,
it's a status thing. I feel like.
Yeah, and it's also I think it's a weird thing too. Like, because I got in this business because I love comedy, man. I love I'm a high school dropout. It's not like I would be doing anything fucking else, that I would fucking hate, Yeah. So with this though, like I really like love it, like the creative process, the connecting with people. When people come up to you and smile, and they're like, man, that was I've had like even recently people like, I usually don't even like comedians or whatever. So you were great, this little thing where you connect with them, And that's what I got in this business. I love that connection. They're like, you're never done making friends.
No,
ever.
No,
like
crazy.
Yeah, I have friends, all of it, like great friends.
And comic friends are so much better than regular
my
friends.
God.
Yeah.
We were just
and I don't know how to explain that to my other friends.
No, honestly, it's just because you get spoiled. Because comic friends, like they know how to write. They know how to tell a story.
Right.
Like they know how to like, even if it's not an entertaining story, they make sure to like, all right, here we go, and then there's getting regular people. You're like, oh my fucking Tell me more about your cat's tumor. This is so great.
And the weirdest thing, I remember just as soon as I started doing comedy, as soon as they find out you're doing comedy, then those stories get that much worse. Because now they're tell a story and they keep looking at you like, is he laughing? Is the funny guy? Oh no, he's not laughing.
Yeah. Oh no, they want to impress you.
This
they
story killed at my grandma's.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, my story about my grandpa killed at my grandpa's.
Yeah, they don't get it, but yeah, it's funny.
It's just like, so that's the bad part about it, because you do get like a little, and because you're around funny people all the time, so you kind of like, it's almost like a muscle. So you get, you like you know what's funny. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like. It's your comedy IQ goes up.
Exactly.
So it's just like
that's the best way to describe it.
You can't just like relate like stupid poop joke. You're like,
like the puns that you hear.
Right. Yeah.
Or they tell you like a street joke.
Right.
From like the 50s.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I want to. Like, I want to hear about how you hooked up with a chick and she didn't tell you had a boyfriend and you had to get in a fist fight naked. Like, I want to hear something like that. You know, that's what you're getting spoiled with comedy. Those are you do
get spoiled with that.
Yeah, you go, I was in Paducah, Kentucky. This chick didn't tell me she had a boyfriend. It's like a fucking real story from a friend. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is hysterical.
That's how you know, too, like, when everybody just quiets down in a group of comics. That's when you know, like, that guy's got the floor and he's about to kill it right now.
Yeah, he's got something to say. It's really funny.
When you have that IQ, you know what's not funny. So it's like, you know what not to say. You know what I mean? Like,
right, no, for sure.
Like, this joke's, like, this is a bad story. I ain't gonna tell a story.
You're going through, like, how you would tell your mom's story.
Yeah, exactly.
How you'd punch up your mom's story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like how you did that Mitch Hedberg joke.
Yeah. God, I had, like, a stroke midway. I wasn't expecting everybody to listen to me. I was hoping, like, it would jump somebody's memory.
Yes, water came out and, Mitch. Oh, Mitch. Anyway,
let me redeem myself. Basically, the thing was, there was 2 H's, and there's an H on the cold water. So when he tapped it, he's like, "Oh, that H must stand for ha. You thought it was hot, but it is not." But he just said it like that, and now that I'm saying it, it wasn't worth it.
Wasn't a great joke.
Glad you went back to it.
I could see myself out. You said you've been doing comedy for 18 years?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you get this a lot, but do people ask you, like, tell me a joke?
Oh my god.
And,
Yep.
like, how much rage is inside of you? And what
I just
people
try to tell them one that'll make them not ask me to tell them another joke.
do you tell them actually one of yours, or you just tell them like a street
Tell them a
joke?
street joke.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna start.
I go,
doing.
I go, oh, you want to hear a joke? I go, this one time I went out with this girl, and her mom answered the door, and she goes, listen, before you take out my daughter, I want you to treat her with the same respect you would treat your sister. I go, my sister? She goes, treat her just like your sister. I go, okay. So then I punched her in the stomach and tried to fuck all of her friends.
And do you maintain that look?
Yeah.
You just stare him down.
There you go.
Just intensely stare.
They're like, oh my god, hi,
No,
that's so great.
Thanksgiving just passed, obviously, so my family knows that I do stand up, and they were like begging me to tell one of my jokes, and I was like, it doesn't work.
You go,
like
that's
that.
why I go, I don't have jokes. I have material.
Yeah.
And the material is.
But they don't understand that.
I was
Yeah.
I was at a New Year's Eve party, and one of my cousins asked me to do stand up, and she was completely inebriated, and I was as well. And the thing is, most of my family does not speak English. So imagine me trying to do my jokes in bilingual, and it's like, I thought bombing in front of your friends was bad, but for your family, they're just like,
my God.
you
Yeah.
have dishonored us.
Yeah, well, your support system immediately drops out too. Like he's not talented. I don't get it. Yeah, stop paying his fucking electric bill.
No, yeah, it's you got, if you want to come to a show, I'll tell you lots of jokes in a row
exactly.
for like an allotted amount of time.
I tried explaining that. It's like it has to have context. Like you have to be at a
And
club.
atmosphere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you go
Like-
to a comedy club, you go there with the intention to laugh. And my uncle's like, "You
Right.
telling me there's guys that just go there? It's like, I'm going here and I'm gonna laugh at this no matter what."
And I go, yeah. Normally I have an opener, so how about you find somebody else to tell you a joke first,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, exactly.
bring me
There's
up.
a whole thing to it.
But
Yeah.
they got
But-
me to do it, and then I
Oh,
felt-
no.
no, I did.
No, you don't
Did you
ever
kill
do
him?
it.
I know, but
Did you
it
kill
was-
him with that Mitch Hedberg joke?
No.
It
It was like
hot-
hot water. Hot, dude.
Oh.
Stop.
Did you do your peanut
No,
butter
I
joke?
did. I just did my no. I just did my opening joke because I thought it would just be like light enough or whatever. And then like, of course, nobody. What worse? It was silence, and then my little cunt of a cousin does a fake laugh.
funny.
No, he goes. That was horrible.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well,
fuck you.
He goes,
dude.
ha ha ha, that was horrible.
Yeah, he was like, that wasn't funny at all.
How old is he?
He's 13.
Old enough to get slapped.
Yeah, I wanted to.
I
I have a joke about him where I murder him
Yeah, bro.
with his peanut
should've
butter
told that
allergy.
joke.
I should have. That should have been the joke I said.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do material like in that situation. But like, what I'll tell people too sometimes is just like, no, I can't do it. But I'm like, if you hang out with me long enough, I'm sure I'll get a
I'll
laugh
roll
out of you.
into
Like,
something,
Well,
because you know what I mean? Like, we're just like naturally, like in conversation, we'll
Right.
naturally be funny. Like, just stick around for that. Like, you don't hear
Yeah.
one of my jokes,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
fucking weirdo.
I
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I remember
do a
I-
backflip.
Yeah.
I told him one of my jokes one time, and it was met with like disgust. It was they're like, say one of your jokes, and I was like, well, if it's like an awkward like silence, like if somebody just bombed or something, and I go up, I was like, man, it's more awkward in here than Sandy Hook PTA meeting. And
Yeah, oh.
I could feel everybody in my family's assholes just suck up, and like they were just
Dude.
disgusted that I would say
I had
something
to
like that.
delete a tweet because I was like, man, this is like, it was like one of my favorite tweets, and I was like, I can't. It was like, I think it goes, yeah, man, it's got to be tough being a kid these days. You got to worry about mass shooters and then unvaccinated kids bringing diseases to school.
Yeah.
Like, imagine hiding in a closet during a shooting while some kid with measles is breathing all over you.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Just hear something like,
And you know the problem is that some fucking chump will read that and just be triggered by the words in it, not the meaning.
Right.
Not the meaning, not the
Right.
joke, just the words.
Right.
Yeah, my father
School
has
shooter.
measles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, vaccines cause fucking autism. You know what I mean? Like, it's some ridiculous shit.
Good.
I wonder how-
Good.
Yeah.
We should have every person in Congress should have autism.
Yeah.
Because I never met a greedy autistic person.
Yeah, exactly.
How gypped do you think people that have autism feel and they're not vaccinated?
I don't think they
Like,
know or care.
I don't know. It's just
Like they're not vaccinated and they have autism still?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like I could have.
That's a
I got
niche
weird-
market.
I got a weird
A
story.
niche
Hold on.
market.
All right, Mitch Hedberg joke.
It's actually-
Save it.
Hey, how many of those autistic people you think not vaccinated? Haha.
Yeah.
They got measles and autism.
Haha.
All right.
Hey, man, go get him, buddy. Brian's going to go up, tear him up. I never seen Brian. I'm
He's
sure
funny.
been
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
great,
Yeah,
You
he's
guys
been-
were here all weekend.
Yeah,
Or-
we did, we did a show
one more
Wednesday
day,
night.
right?
They were off Thanksgiving. Then we did 2 last night. Got 2 tonight, 1 tomorrow.
That's cool. It's a
okay.
nice week for you, though, at least, right?
It took me 5 years to finally get it
Oh, right?
right because I'm only in certain regions of the country a certain amount of time. Like I'm only here,
Oh.
so like my window to
It's very
like
limited.
I'm not. Like I'm not gonna fly
Yeah.
all the way out like wherever I am in the country just to come back here.
No,
'Cause
yeah.
I'd rather consolidate it with all my other Florida stuff, so that way I don't have to I could drive everywhere. You know,
So it took you 5 years just to line up.
to line it up.
Oh, wow. So you were approved already, just kind of like...
Ish, like
Ish, yeah.
so like Les is real old school, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and so I think like my material probably isn't like
Right.
his fate. Like he wouldn't be like, oh, this like
Yeah.
personally like, oh, this guy is like one of my favorite. But Braun went really like she
Yeah,
was
but Bronwyn is the one, you know. She
Yeah.
scouts all the talent. Like
Right.
Les says it best. He goes, if I only booked acts that I loved, I'd go out of business.
right. So Braun really pushed for me to
Yeah.
like get the day. So
She told me for sure. She
Yeah,
was like, "Fuck yeah, we gotta get him in here."
yeah, she.
And I saw your car. I was actually outside smoking a cigarette.
I wish I could bring it around for people to sign. It's like
that's so
you know
great.
everything's like valet parking and
Oh,
shit.
I know,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
if
you
they just
parked
give me
up
that
on
one
it.
spot. You know, like
Yeah.
right out here, I could do it.
You could probably do it if they usually give the spot for like celebs and stuff, but just come pull up. Like
Yeah, it's like a Batmobile. It's like
no,
come
I've
on,
seen it. It's great. It looks like you can see from a mile away. You're like, God damn.
Yeah,
Like as soon as you pulled in, I was like, I was like, that's the comic. And somebody goes, what the fuck? Like the car, and I'm like, that's the comic for the week.
Are you rolling like in a tumbler or what was it?
no,
it's-
so it's a 99 CRV,
Oh, okay.
and it's like I normally after every show I do around the country, I pull it up to the front of the comic club when people are leaving, and I let everybody sign it.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's like
okay.
Oh,
covered
that's awesome.
and
bumper to bumper. Like it's
Right.
covered in
I've done-
signatures.
I haven't washed it since I had one before this one. I had a 94 Honda Accord. That's where I first got the idea. I had it for like 6 years, and I didn't even think of the idea until like 2015. And I've been like touring nonstop. Like I
Wow.
call it the never-ending tour because I don't have a home. Like I just tour
Yeah.
Just- wow.
nonstop.
Yeah.
So since 2010 to 2015, so then I had 387,000 miles on this thing, and I had everybody sign
Holy
it.
fuck.
Then I wrecked it.
Oh.
I hit it, I flipped it, rolled in an
Start.
embankment, and then I had to put up a GoFundMe, right? Because I was like, dude, I'm strapped, I'm stuck, I need
Yeah.
you guys' help. I raised almost $4,000 in less than a week,
Fuck yeah.
and then so then I got the CRV, which was green when I first got it. Then I had to paint it white again. And
so you
everybody's
gotta
like-
get sign it.
yeah, and then I think one of the reasons I was able to raise that much money is because everybody had signed the other one. You know,
Oh,
nice.
see, like everybody was like felt a part of it. They're like, man, there was like everybody was like a little heartbroken. They're
That's
like, man,
genius.
yeah, it's what I mean. Like what it does on so many levels. Like first of all, it's a great way to get people to remember me and to follow me.
That's
Like
a good
they're
point.
part of the journey now.
Oh, I signed his car. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
This- I've had people go, yo, I signed the other one too. So people are like proud that they've signed both of them. You know, like that's like a thing they're proud of. Number two, it's a reflection of my hustle. You know, like
Yeah.
it looks. You know,
Yeah.
like one of my favorite things Chris Rock said. He was like, man, you know what? Well, I used to have crappy cars and they would break down on the side of the road. And anytime I try to flag somebody down, they would just drive right by. But anytime I would try to push the car myself, people would get out and help me.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, so this right here is like showing you that I'm pushing. You know, like I'm
Right,
like
yeah.
this gives me the attention I need without having me to talk like Kanye West. Where I'm like,
Right.
I'm fucking great. You know,
I'm
I'm like,
fucking great.
yeah, I
Yeah.
can just still be like, yo, this is my car.
You're backing it up by
right.
Yeah.
the tour that never ends. You know
Exactly,
What I mean?
exactly. And then like, so yeah, and it's now it's become my brand.
Right.
So my
right.
main goal, so I started up a Patreon. I'm gonna start a podcast as well before 2020.
Nice.
But what I want to do is like I want to get 100,000 subscribers, at least doing $1 for the Patreon, and then I'm gonna do my never ending tour like I've been doing for the past 10 years. But each month I'll bring 3 different comedians with me for that entire month, and I'm gonna pay them each 25 grand.
Wow.
So like, and then the next month flips, and then I'll bring another 3, and the month after that I'll bring another 3 because it's like
That's amazing.
crowdfunded. And with 4 comedians, because I'll be on the show, the 3 of us, we all split the time. There's no headliner. We're all just, there's no star. And I think with people's attention spans, this is a really good format. So we're all doing like 20, 25 minutes. And then we're all doing our most killer shit because nobody wants to be the weakest link. So everybody's going to be like up in their game. And like we're all traveling together. Like I have a van or a tour bus or something. So we need, like, you don't have to worry about check engine lights. You don't have to worry about canceled gigs. You don't have to worry about flat tires. You don't have to worry about hotel. Everything's taken care of. All you got to worry about for that entire month is just being funny. And then at the end of it, you get 25 grand, which isn't fuck you money, but it's breathing room money.
Fuck yeah.
Like, you don't.
Like, for a month? Yeah.
Right,
For a
exactly.
month,
For
yeah.
that whole month, you just work and we all have fun. Like you get to hang out with other comics. We're all part of something. We all get to like.
See, that's the one thing that I like that always bums me out is that how much this can turn into just a one person thing. Like you know what I mean? Like I want to. I've been trying so hard to like book gigs with other friends, and it's just so difficult, even locally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
And like that's the one thing that I know is gonna suck, but like that's a great idea. That's
Right, and I've been doing this for 18 years.
Yes.
So how do you make a killer show? Easy. You put all killers on the show.
Right,
I know who
exactly.
the killers are.
Yeah,
like
you do, yeah.
any job for 18 years, you know who the good coworkers are and who fucking sucks at this and who's like and who would be good, you know. And it's like, and the only requirement to get on the tour, if I don't know you, is you have to be doing comedy at least 8 years, and you have like, and that has to be your like. I want to see some 1099s. Like,
Full
don't
time,
be like,
yeah.
not even full time.
Okay,
Just as long as that's like the main source of your income, you know,
Right,
or you're making money, you work the road, you travel.
You're a road
Doesn't
dog.
matter who your management is. Doesn't matter who else. And then if I don't know you, somebody on the tour has to recommend you. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's the way it goes. That's why it's for those unknown masses out there that are still waiting to be discovered. Like Last Comic Standing is gone.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that's just a stupid. I'm so sick of competition shows. This is more of like a collaboration, a camaraderie. Like, say if all you guys were on the tour, your fans will hear about his fans, and his fans will hear about your guys.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, you know, this is, so everybody is it's
great.
a mix. Yeah.
That's I've never heard anybody try that before. That's super
That's why I think-
original.
That's
Do
why I
it.
think it'll work.
Please
know,
do
it's
that.
Yeah, that's why I want to get it. You know, that's my mission.
Dude,
It's
if
like,
you want,
I've ever seen.
you know, later, I'll go. I don't know if you know like a lot about podcasting, but
I do not. That's the only thing.
I would
that's
love
like,
to talk to you, and I'll
Yes,
give
please.
you everything I
Yeah.
know. Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh,
I downloaded that app called Anchor, so that's what.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, and then you just if you could just like for me, for instance, the turnaround with this, like I'll have this out tomorrow.
Knock his helmet.
Awesome.
Tomorrow day. So it's like,
Sorry, that was the most badass run. Watch, he's gonna knock.
Oh,
He runs in for a touchdown.
ouchies.
Sorry.
He literally knocked that guy's helmet off. With
They got
his-
lit up.
That was one of the most
this is a
nastiest
great
runs
game.
I've ever seen.
Dude,
It just keeps going backward. It's a really good game.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're about to get a 2 points, right?
Yeah, they're lined up for 2-point right now.
Oh, they're going for 2.
Yeah. So that way
Yeah.
they
So
get field goal.
Alabama, Auburn.
Auburn's going for 2 right now.
Auburn's going for
Auburn
2.
just scored,
Auburn just scored with a crazy ass score. Oh shit!
and it's good.
Damn.
You caught it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
quick.
Extra point.
Surgical.
No, 2
Yeah,
points.
dude, he like needled it.
But yeah, man, I think like because there's like, you know, one of my best friends who's a brilliant comic. Like he's somebody I would love to have on the tour. He's spinning signs right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's just so I'm like, dude, that's like
You can't just be funny anymore. It's weird. Like you gotta.
that's
be,
exactly it, man.
Yeah.
That's the biggest mistake I've made. Is
You have
just
to be
like
so
because
fucking
when I first started, that's all you needed was to be funny. Like
Right.
I was really funny. Then other comics would recommend me, and then I'd get work.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now it's like all these YouTube people. And shit. I was like,
They're
like,
fucking ruining it.
bro. This is when this dude. God, is it Andrew Rivers? He's
Oh.
you know Andrew Rivers?
No.
Okay, so he's a comic out of the Northwest. He had one of those dry bar specials.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I know
okay.
Dry Bar. Yeah.
Right. So he posted on his Facebook wall. He goes, "Congratulations to all my friends getting those dry bar specials that are accumulating millions and millions of views, just to have owners of clubs telling you they're gonna book Jeremy Piven." I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, that is
Yeah.
so like
That's true.
exactly like great. Jeremy Piven is a good like.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he can do comedy. Like
No.
if you pay to see Jeremy Piven, you're paying to see an apprentice.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
you're paying to see Michael Jordan play baseball.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's giving a lot of credit to Jeremy Piven because he's not the Michael Jordan of acting.
No,
he's
no,
like
no.
he's Jeremy Piven.
You're
Yeah.
paying to see a JV football game, basically.
You think he's
If
just
that-
rolling off
Yeah.
off the cast?
But you're
of LA.
you're overpaying, like in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like
Right.
think about that. Like you're
No, I do shows for free though. Like people like they don't even pay for tickets. They're like they
know.
just like places will pay for the room because I get it. And in like if you're not famous, all you are is a baby bird. You got to accept that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like chip 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 chip.
Yeah.
Like who wants Paducah, Kentucky on a Tuesday? Chip, 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 chip. I want
Yeah.
it. Blah, there you go,
Yeah.
you fuck. You're like chip, chip,
Yeah.
chip. Hotel? Nope, no hotel. Make your own arrangements, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then, but it's not their fault. It's not the booker's fault that you're not famous. You
right.
know
And you're not a draw.
that you're not a draw. Exactly.
Yeah.
That you're not putting asses in seats.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
the
got
hardest
to
thing.
you got to figure it out, and that's what the Matrix is, man. You just got to figure out.
And
like,
they did it. They put it on you now. It's on the comic.
right, and it's just like that. That's another reason. I'm okay at Twitter. I try to tweet, but I mean, it's hard to get. Like, I don't want to just put crap out there,
Right,
so I try to
exactly.
like at least make it somewhat amusing or entertaining. My Instagram is good, but it's just like I make it more about like if you go to my Instagram, it's basically just a gallery of like all my fans signing my cars. So it's just
Right,
like
right,
different
right.
people. It looks cool.
Where you
know.
been, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then and my Facebook is more like where I'm going to be at, and I just post like funny videos or memes
Yeah.
and shit that I like.
Yeah, podcasts will up your game a lot because they'll get you like this right now. They'll like you should definitely promote this on your.
Oh,
side.
absolutely. But I think a podcast too, you got to look at it like you almost got to be like an octopus.
Yeah, yeah.
Like one arm is Facebook, one arm
Right.
is like
Branches
podcast.
are,
yeah.
yeah.
You got to like a general. Like you got your Air Force, you got your Navy.
Right.
Like your podcast be like your Air Force, man. Like
different.
everybody's got a podcast. Exactly.
That's
the fact that you don't,
exactly.
you don't have one.
That's not a deterrent that everybody has a podcast. That's a reason to get a podcast. Honestly.
Right, exactly. It's just it's the same. Like everybody has Instagram too. You know, like
Yeah,
if you're a
exactly.
comic, like you need to create content. You can't be like follow me and then give them nothing to follow.
Right. Yeah.
People want contact to read on the shitter.
And that's another thing. What I do, like if I get my goal, like 100,000 subscribers on my Patreon, like myself and all three comedians will do a podcast every week. Like
And that's what I was just thinking. Like, and you could, I'll give you all the notes that I have and stuff. But like, the setup that I originally got before I got asked to do this podcast, I wanted my own podcast, and my idea was to do like a roadcast. So like whatever gig I got, I would do it after the show, like with the comic, whatever comic I could get to agree to do it. But
Right.
for that, I needed a mobile setup. I couldn't have this. I couldn't. You know what I mean? I needed to
Right.
be able to do it in my car.
that's what I need. I need a mobile.
And that's
setup.
what I built, geared my, or that's what I geared my podcast towards. So I already know how to do that, and it's like, it's doable. It's not as
I
hard
would like
as
to
you
hear
think.
your.
Yeah, I'll
like,
definitely go over
yeah,
with you for
'cause
sure.
That's exactly what I need.
Because I came up with it when I was just doing open mics, and I wanted to like go to an open mic, do it, and I just hated like my favorite thing about going to an open mic is getting stage time, working on your shit, and then also the hangout. Like I love hanging
The
out
hang,
with the people.
dudes, you learn more sometimes with the hang than
yeah.
you do
It's
like
amazing.
like that's where I learned. That's where I met most of my friends, and
Right.
then like I could hear him like talk and like, and then my one buddy I was talking about, Ricky Reyes. He is absolutely one of the funniest human beings.
Yeah.
And then like he and I would go back and forth. Like I would come up with a prank,
Riff and riff and riff.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, this is a bit. You know,
Yeah.
and I could feel it.
That's
and
the
I'm like,
best.
Oh, dude,
ever.
yeah.
When you're creating something, when you're actively creating something, too,
Absolutely.
and you're in that moment. And the best is when you're on a podcast doing it, because then you can go back and just listen to it,
Right.
exactly word for word. Like sometimes you're writing shit down. You're like, I don't know if it's exactly how it came out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when you're on a podcast, oh, it's great. I wanted like a workshop podcast, but then I was like, how do you gear that towards an average?
Oh,
listener?
every podcast is a workshop.
yeah,
though, you know,
yeah,
like,
essentially.
But yeah, man. Like, and there's sometimes too you have I'll have a bit, like an idea, like a premise in my head for months before
Right.
I actually am able to go. Okay, how am I going to translate this? How am I going to make it like stage worthy?
Stage-worthy,
Yeah,
right,
yeah, where I can like present it. Because I had one about like I was watching Forensic Files, and this guy tried to kill his wife by putting a bunch of mice in her center console. And he waited till she, exactly. I was like,
Jesus
and
Christ.
then waited till she was on the way to work, and then called her. He was like, "Hey, honey, I think I left my wallet in the center console," and she fucking wrecks the car. And I'm like, it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what is happening? Right. So I had this in my head. I'm like, how do I bring this up?
Yeah.
How would I like
Set it up. And
Right. Hey, guys, you know what's funny when spouses murder each other? Like, what? So then I go, so I just started talking about marriage. I go, yeah, all of my friends are getting married. I feel like I'm going to be single for a long time. Marriage scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, the statistics, like
Yeah.
50% of marriages end in divorce, And according to forensic files, another 25% end in fucking murder. You know? So immediately, like, that's the
Now you're on the subject.
Now
Yeah.
I'm in.
That's
now
great.
I'm in.
That's
so that was
perfect.
that was almost like the smartest way I could think of to like bring it up, because everybody that's on
Right.
it, like, mayor's like, oh yeah, I thought about murdering this fucking, you know, and the way
Yes.
you present it like
Yeah.
that, you
Yeah,
know.
so did this guy.
I think
Right.
that's
but
one
with
of
mice.
that's so ironic to me too, because it's like sometimes the hardest part about bit is setting it up.
The
Yeah.
setup,
You're like,
yeah,
how the
yeah.
fuck do I get here? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
How do I
great.
even talk this?
It's great, but how do I go from this to this? Like, it's weird.
Right.
Like, because if you don't do it right, it doesn't seem
Dude,
right.
I had that bit. I had that idea in my head for months, and as soon as I found out,
how to
this
do
is
it?
how I'm going to bring it up.
Right.
Game over.
Game
I just started writing the whole thing out. I'm like, and I don't write anything down. I just, you know, like, just say it.
I was talking to them about that. Like, some people like will script themselves. When I do that, I'll end up like fucking up like big time. So I just I write reminders. Like I write lines almost like just like key points in the bit almost. I don't try to like write every word down.
Yeah.
Because my brain doesn't work that way. Like,
Yeah.
No,
you know
I'm
what
in
I
my
mean?
car usually. Like, I'll sit there and I'll be like, it look like I'm singing along to a song, but I'm actually doing a bit.
Yeah,
where I'm like,
exactly. That's kinda like how I do
I
it,
gotta
yeah.
hear it.
People
I gotta
think
know,
you're crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta
it's
know
great.
what facial expression I'm making during this bit. I
Yeah.
gotta know like what voice I'm using.
Right, you're almost acting it out yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
that's
got
how
I got
do
a
it.
question. How do you? And you said you've been doing it for 18 years. And I know you've probably like done some old material to freshen up the new
I
one.
still
So
got-
yeah.
yeah, I
How
still-
do you not get bored of that? Because like I have an issue of that. It's like I love my material, but at other times it's like I've done it so many times.
I'll just not do it for months.
All
Like,
right.
I'll just go and then I'll go back to it, and now it's fresh again. And
Yeah.
and then I'll think of something like I'll add to it. Like I've had
Yeah.
bits that I've had for 18 years, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Like I
Yeah.
should have been, you know.
and then you could probably stock those too for like crowd work or something.
Exactly, and that's one of the
Yeah.
things Joe Rogan was talking about. He's like, man, there's sometimes where you put out a special and then you're like, fuck, man.
Yeah,
what
I
is
love
that?
that
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. And he's like, I could have said this, you know, I added these tags to it, you know.
Yeah, it's weird, especially situationally. Like sometimes you're doing an older bit, but like the venue or the environment or the situation calls for it like perfectly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, I'm using that one.
Yeah,
Throw it out.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
pulling out like you're going through the roll. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna use this one. I'm doing
Yeah.
this one a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, and it's also like, I always say too, like right now, like my brain, like if it were a pie chart, you know, when I first started comedy,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a regular job, I'd say like 85% of my brain was dedicated, like, oh, this would be funny. What about that? Because I got that paycheck coming in.
Right,
Now that
exactly.
I'm a comic, like we live paycheck to paycheck, but we don't get paid every week.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
like
Yeah.
next week I'm making $450.
Right.
The week after that I'm making like $250 for
Right.
the whole week.
For the whole
and then
week.
the week after that I'm making $1,200 because I'm flying to Vegas.
Right,
So now it's
exactly.
like
Yeah.
fucking, you know.
You
and
gotta
then
make
some-
enough just
Right,
to get
right.
through.
It's just like it's like running across a bridge while it's fucking disintegrating.
Yeah. dude.
So and then
Fuck.
that's the part. That's
Yeah.
the part where you still got to be funny while that Indiana Jones boulder's fucking
Yeah.
chasing you, and you're like, "Hey, what's the deal with fucking?" And you're like,
yeah.
that
yeah.
anxiety you have to
Yeah.
deal with. So now 85% of my brain is dedicated to fucking, oh, May looks like shit. You know,
Right,
like I
right.
got to fill this up. And then when you find, like, it took me, like I said, 5 years just to get into this club.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to go out here and go, hey, here's some new shit.
Right,
You know,
right,
like, no, I'm going to
yeah.
go out there. I'm going to do the hits so I want followers.
Yeah,
They're going to
exactly.
follow me if I'm
Yeah.
doing some fucking half-ass bit. No, I'm
Right.
coming with fucking
Fire.
the
yeah.
hammer.
Fire,
You know,
yeah.
yeah. I'm like, I'm going to fucking razzle-dazzle you. And
That
then
makes
like,
sense.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I want people to take the time to go click.
Exactly,
There's Fucking
dude. It's fucking
Pringles
the
has
hardest.
24 million likes. Let
Yeah.
that fucking sink in.
Fucking
You'll
Pringles.
work your ass off your entire life. You'll still never ever be more popular than a potato chip.
Yeah. Exactly. God.
But I mean, the potato chip has been around longer. Sorry.
Right, but you need that on your Facebook wall. Oh, what's sour cream and onion up to? Like that's
Yeah.
like a fucking thing. Like
Exactly.
you really needed like.
I don't want any follower that follows fucking potato chips though. I mean,
right. Click. What is that?
I feel like this will be our best followers. Though.
Like,
Some
you can
backward-
have them Pringles. You fucking.
So
we like our
uh,
followers with bags.
I gotta set this camera up.
Definitely, just
yeah,
go-
yeah,
go do
yeah.
your
I'm
thing,
gonna go
man.
ahead and
We'll
set
go
this
wrap it
thing
up,
up.
man.
But dude, this was a blast. I'd
Oh,
really like
yeah.
to talk to you
Oh,
more.
for
man.
sure.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be here, man. I'm doing a guest spot on the Late Show too. So I'm.
Are you
yeah,
okay?
I'm
Great,
hanging out.
fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Pleasure to meet you
Well,
guys.
pleasure to meet you, man.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, man.
Dude, awesome having you.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Appreciate it, man.
We'll see you. Good luck tonight. Thanks. You don't need it. Also, we all want to sign your car. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
Pretty badass.
All right, cool. You guys want to wrap it?
Yeah, that's fine.
I want to watch his set. So
All
we'll
right,
hang on the
that's
back of the
fine.
room. All right, cool. We're all set. Thank you guys. Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for being guests.
Oh,
Honestly.
thanks.
Oh yeah,
Once
no, thanks
again.
for having us.
And we'll see you guys next time for sure.
All right.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks again for listening to another episode of the Conversation Podcast here at McCurdy's Comedy Theater. Please go to our website, mccurdyscomedy.com, for all of our upcoming shows, events, and special events. And if you like Patrick Garrity, please follow him and support him at patrickgarritycomedy.com. That's PatrickGarrity comedy, comedy.com. Follow him on Twitter at PGRoadDog. That's PGRoadDog. He needs all the support you guys can offer. He is an amazing comic, and he's been traveling forever. One of the coolest guys ever. Also, please follow Brian Aldridge. Support that guy at aldridgecomedy.com. ALDRIDGE comedy.com. Follow him, support him. Hilarious comic, hilarious local. And see you next time. Thank you so much.